Alright, here's one more thing that's working on this guy that a lot of people aren't aware of, is how to block a cross-up. The reason it's so important is because if you don't know how to do it, people will abuse it. It's not only this game, right? This game in particular, though, will destroy your morale. Saw a message here about someone buying SF5 on sale. Advice and tips for noobs. I'll tell you what didn't work for me was being defensive. A lot of people will tell you, just anti-air, and you can win the match. But it turns out, if you only try to anti-air, then you don't just not win, you just kind of sit in the corner and you get pushed and pushed further back. Like, that's good advice for Street Fighter in general, but for Street Fighter 5, like, this game is really offensive. So if you don't start being offensive, like, quite early on, I find I just get thrown into the corner, and then once you're in the corner, your opponent has 2 or 3 options, and you only have 1 or 2 options. The person who has more options in this game seems to win. If they've got 5 options, and you've only got 2 options, then you're probably stuck. The game starts with you both having the same number of options. You're on screen. You can do something and they can do something. But if you say, I'm just gonna anti-air you, so you're like over here, anti-airing, then you wait for them to jump in. If you miss the anti-air, now they're right in your face, or they've knocked you down. Especially if they've knocked you down, then they've got all these options, right? When you wake up, they could do like 1 of 3 different things to you. I feel like this is a very offensive game, offense-heavy game. But then again, I'm not a pro. This is something that's also worked for me quite well recently, is not going straight into ranked match before I'm ready. It's not only this game, right? This game in particular, though, will destroy your morale if you lose. A lot of games it feels bad to lose. But this game particularly makes you feel like trash when you lose. Do yourself a favor and don't play ranked mode when you're not warmed up. I forgot. The other bit of advice, well, it's not really advice, but something I learned in the past couple months, the past couple weeks. The thing I learned basically 2 weeks ago, which has really helped so far. If you don't press a button, you'll get thrown, right? So people say don't press buttons, right? So this is what happens if you don't press buttons. If you just block, they'll throw you, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. But see this? I'm blocking, and then eventually I get thrown. Your natural instinct will be to press some buttons here, like this. This way, if she gets too close, then I can like jab her out the way. The problem is, if this person's actually got any more than 1 hit, I'll just show you, like this. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to press a button here, but then I get countered in the face. This is the most common thing that happens as a beginner. If you don't know when the block string ends, and a block string is like a string of attacks, so if you don't know when a string of attack ends, then you don't know when to press a button, right? So you'll just start mashing it so that eventually, when it is your turn, a button will come up. And the problem with that is that most people know how to press the button a little bit slower than usual, so that your button comes out first and then they counter you, and you never get a turn. There you go. For example, like that. Crush counter, right? Because I'm scared of getting thrown, I just throw out buttons. Yeah, it's called a frame trap, but I'm trying to avoid complicated terminology. But what helped me the most in this game was watching an opponent basically do 4 moves. Don't mash any buttons until you've seen them do about 4 moves. Now, it's stupid to just choose an arbitrary number like that, but it can help at the start, right? So she comes in 1, 2, 3, right? And then now I can probably press something. Let's try it again. If I just did this all the time, I eventually get crushed countered. That's why people say don't press buttons. What they actually mean is wait until the string is over before you press buttons. But because that's really long, people don't like to say it. Haha, why not reversal DP? Well, Heath knows why. Heath knows why this is. Surely that's a troll, right? The reason we don't do this, basically I can't demonstrate it because the computer just refuses to do a meaty. Why not do a reversal DP? The trick questions, trying to trip me up really early. Ah, that's another thing. Wow, all the beginner advice is coming out today. But basically, this is all the stuff that I've learned in the past, like, week or so. You can't throw an opponent who's in block stun, right? And if you're not familiar with that term, after you hit someone, you can't hit them again immediately. You gotta wait till the block stun is, like, finished, or you can't throw them. Basically, they'll look like they're getting hit, and while they look like they're getting hit, even if you grab them, nothing will happen, right? They're like immune to throws after you hit them. But I used to do this. I used to jump in and then do that. And right now I'm not explaining it very well, but I would miss a lot because the game's actually designed to not let you do that. I didn't know, because sometimes I was getting lucky. Sometimes I was walking in and getting close enough to throw. Throws are really powerful as a tool, but there's a reason why sometimes they don't work. I've been watching a lot of replays of my own plays, right? I don't like this character because I don't really know how she moves. I should probably put her in training mode. There's so many characters in this game. Oh, so this is an important lesson. When you're a beginner at Street Fighter, you'll see a bunch of this. And the reason they do this is because eventually, this person will eventually hit me, and then, I don't know, this will get them some fight money, and then they'll feel better about their lives. But if you're a beginner, it's just kind of an annoying thing that sometimes it's like, you don't know how to deal with. So like that. You'd be like, oh no, I'm getting hit by the thing. Are you ever going to play Smash Ultimate? Static, where have you been? I just played Smash Ultimate on release day. Where were you? So what happened in that match is that player isn't aware of all that stuff that we just talked about. In this game, and people keep saying this to me, a lack of knowledge is probably my main stumbling point in this game. And that's just what happens in this game. It's like, you will gain the knowledge eventually. Alright, here's one more thing that's working on this guy that a lot of people aren't aware of, is how to block a cross-up. The reason it's so important to learn how to block a cross-up is because if you don't know how to do it, people will abuse it. And once people figure out how to abuse a thing in Street Fighter, they'll do it. Because that's how you learn how to play the game. You learn how to guard against every single thing that people are abusing. For example, if he doesn't know how to... So he knows how to tech throws, trying to figure out what else he doesn't know. See that? So this cross-up will probably work every time. Well, that's fine. This game is about learning. But yeah, watching your replays, you discover all the things that you don't know how to do. When you're playing this game, there's about 600 things that happen, but you can only notice maybe 100 of them before the match is over. So there's like 500 things that you discover when you watch the replay, because your brain's not supposed to notice all 600 things. Your brain is supposed to take in 600 things and filter it down to only 100 that it thinks are important. Those other 500 things are also important, but your brain, it would be very inefficient if your brain actually noticed all 600 things. So it's a sign of an efficient brain, in my opinion.
You lose.
Honestly, the most useful thing I discovered in Street Fighter is to not go into ranked mode, is to stick in casual. This losing screen used to be so much more painful, but now that I'm sticking to casual mode, it's so much less hurtful. It's like this game wants to hurt your feelings, in addition to being quite tough. So here's the other thing: is I would consider myself with I would say I have a bit of a handicap. I built up a lot of bad habits. Actually, coming to this game fresh, so if you are actually new to this game, you might actually be at a slight advantage because you don't have the bad habits. I have a lot of bad habits from playing Street Fighter Alpha 2 as a kid. Actually, I said this on Thursday as well. I don't know when Nash's combos end. When am I allowed to press buttons? Nash in particular, I don't know when his block strings end. Alright, so when you saw me get crush counted in the middle of that, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I was trying to V-reversal, but I don't know how to do it very well. So I just kind of mash it. I just kind of press all 3 buttons and I just go V-reversal! It does work sometimes, but that's obviously not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to block and then V-reversal. So I'm aware of what you're supposed to do. I know what you're supposed to do, but I'm just not very good at it yet. Fair enough. So I was like, I could do a V-reversal, or I could try and make this V-trigger work. And I was like, well, let's be risky. Let's try and make this V-trigger work. But obviously I didn't get the opportunity for the first part of the combo didn't work. Sorry, there's so many bars to look at in this game, aren't there? You've got the health bar, the stun gauge, EX meter, and then your V gauge. And your V gauge is actually 2 meters. It's a reversal gauge, and it's also a trigger gauge. Sometimes you look up and it's like, wait a minute, I'm stunned. There's so many meters. That's not a problem. I actually like that there's a bunch of meters in this game. The game would be boring if it didn't have tons of cool features. But it's just one more thing to remember when you're learning how to play the game. It's alright, we're learning. Oh, wow, I actually blocked it, I can't believe it. Nash and Zeku both have this move where they disappear and then reappear behind you, and I can't block it ever. So there's a lot of stuff in this game where I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, but you know, it takes time, right? You can't rush these things. I could probably afford to be more efficient, but yeah, some stuff just takes time. Oh, that's his gauge! I'm on the right, sorry. I think my gauge was on the left side last time, so I thought my gauge was on the... Oops. Add that to the beginner advice. I was a little surprised that I'm not the only one who doesn't V-reversal. But I got this guy in the corner, and every time he didn't do a V-reversal, I was like, oh cool, so this is what it feels like to be on the other side. This is what it feels like to be on the side that's winning. But it almost never happens. Oh no! Fair enough, okay. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get wake up supered. You never know when it's gonna happen. Yo, Naxter, thanks so much for the subscription. Is Cammy a good character to play as because I'm new and I don't want to learn someone who is broken? Cammy's a great player to start with because she does a lot of the standard Street Fighter stuff. With Cammy, you can learn how to DP, how to attack from really far away because you've got that drill kick. I can't think of any reason not to play Cammy, apart from everyone hates her. Is this the same guy as before? Raw activation! Just do it raw! Alright, so here's something that can be a little dangerous about playing casual for too long. If you get used to playing people who are lower ranked than you, you'll start to think that things can work when actually they don't work. I can probably jump in on this guy all day and it'll be fine, but then I'll try that on a person who's actually like higher ranked and it won't work. And I'll be like, oh no, it doesn't work anymore. Clearly I didn't have it. So all this stuff that I'm doing, which is quite risky right now, I'm gonna end up trying this in ranked later and it's not gonna work. Rare footage of NihongoGamer actually angry. That's gotta be one of my favorite quotes of all time. So I've put it on ranked mode just to see if I can give myself a little stress. You play better when you're angry. That is interesting. What am I, a Sith? When you're pissed, it's the best gameplay ever. You might not be wrong. You might be right. Yo, Paul Gabriel, thank you. Paul Gabriel, rather. Thank you very much for the subscription. Oh no, this guy's like a million times... No. Don't give my opponent too much respect. First mistake, don't respect your opponent. Anger, okay, let's turn on the angry mode. This is actually not too far from the truth though. I think... Oh wow, is that your birthday? We're gonna party like it's your birthday. You wanna flash kick me? I ain't taking that. You ain't flash kicking me. Okay, yes you are. Oh no, I missed the crush counter. That's embarrassing. Actually, I'm not sure if I could have reached it from that range. What was I trying to say? I'm sure I was saying something. Who invented the idea of streaming? Talking and playing games at the same time is such a terrible idea. Well, that was actually that was a mistake that went really, really well. That was a risky... I should not have done a DP. Not DP. I should not have done a cross-up there. It's fine. I think I play better when I'm angry or panicking or just really busy. If my mind is busy, then I'll play better. Tell me about it. Go on, flash kick me. Flash kick me. I dare you. I double dare you. Where is the flash kick? Give it to me. Where's the flash kick? Give it to me. Space out like I do. Hey, who knows? That could work. What? Why didn't that combo? Fine. I'm not pissed. I'm not upset. Nani? Nani? When Guile misses his throw, he goes, what? Oops, that was a big problem. Where is it? Where's that flash kick? Give it to me. Suddenly we're Mr. I don't flash kick anymore. Well, that's no fun. I liked you before. Wow! Okay. That's what it's all about. Get angry. Alright, it's important that we don't play any more ranked mode, just in case I lose all those points that I just got. This is how you play with honor. You take all the points and you run. We learned something interesting today. Play angry. Here's why I think why that might actually work for me. Because when I'm angry, I become really offensive. Not like rude and obscenities. Not obscene. I think my play becomes more offensive when I'm angry. Keith is the bully coach. Yo! Dat Salad! What a name! Thank you so much for the subscription. Is that what people say on Twitch now? Let's get that salad, boys.